Hello there my friend, it's Elliot here, back for another video about boutique Blu-rays, and this is a spontaneous Criterion haul. That sounded a lot more majestic in my head. I say it's spontaneous because usually I have a plan when I'm buying Criterion Blu-rays. I either know that I'm going to pre-order a certain Blu-ray, or if it's a 50% off sale at Barnes & Noble, I go in with an action plan. I know I'm going to get this, and this. This occasion, it's spontaneous because I saw someone was selling some Criterions on Facebook Marketplace. So I jumped to the chance and I messaged Mario, who was selling these Criterions. And it was great. I've picked up, I think it's 11 from him, and then I've also got 2 extra ones that I bought on eBay, so I think we've got 13 in total. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before we get into it, if you're new to the channel or if you're new to Criterion, I did recently make a video about the Criterion Collection for beginners, so if you want some other recommendations, please do go and check that video out. I'll include the link in the description below. So this first one really needs no introduction, and I'm pretty sure you've probably heard of it. It's Seven Samurai from Akira Kurosawa. Alarm bells are probably going off in your head because you're like, how does Elliot not have Seven Samurai on Blu-ray? Well, I actually have never owned the Criterion Collection version of Seven Samurai. I do have the UK BFI Blu-ray, but I've always wanted this, and it's such an iconic release. It's spy number 2. So this is a very early release indeed. If you've not seen Seven Samurai before, this is essential cinema, and it's a long film, 207 minutes long. Let me tell you, it flies by. It feels about half the length of that. It's such an action-packed, great film, such wonderful storytelling. I should have probably prefaced this video by saying that only about half of these I've seen before, so some of these are blind buys, but the price was too good to pass up and I just had to get them. This one I've not seen. This is Hoop Dreams, and this year I did make a video at one point on my favourite documentaries within the Criterion Collection. And so many people said to me, where's Hoop Dreams? Why is this not on the list? Now, I've not seen Hoop Dreams before, but many people said this is the best documentary in the Criterion Collection. So, boy, I'm excited for this one. Next up, I've got Blood Simple from the Coen brothers, and this was their debut feature film, believe it or not. If you saw it, you might not actually think it's their first film that they made. It's so well made, seriously, one of the best kind of modern noir films that I can think of. I did previously own the UK Blu-ray of this, but I never had the Criterion, so I jumped at the chance. And again, can't wait to revisit this one because when I saw it for the first time a few years ago, it really blew me away. So I'm excited. I also got Valley of the Dolls, and this is classic cult cinema territory here. I now just need to get beyond the Valley of the Dolls to complete this. So I'm very interested in revisiting this one. If you've not seen this one, just check it out, Valley of the Dolls. Another blind buy, but one that has always intrigued me when I've seen the cover art design. It's The Executioner. And I genuinely don't know much about this movie at all. But this cover artwork is just, I mean, just look at it. This is the kind of thing that if you saw this on the shelf in the store, this would make you go, what is that movie about there? What's going on here? So, The Executioner, hopefully when I've watched it, I can come back and talk a bit more about it. Another one that is a surprise that I don't already own this on Criterion is The Battle of Algiers. And this is famously quoted as one of the most influential movies of the period. And it's one that I've never actually seen in full. So I've seen all of the iconic sequences that are shown in film schools and film studies classes, but I've never seen the film in full, so that is going to change very soon. It's a really nice addition. One thing I'll say, and this, if I ever have a bad thing to say about Criterion, it's always this. With Digipack packaging, these are so delicate, and luckily Mario, who I bought these from, shipped them perfectly. They were packaged so nicely. but little dings and dents and scrapes on these are unavoidable because, let's be honest, the digipack packaging is so flimsy. And even when I've been in the US and I visited Barnes & Noble and I bought some Criterions for myself, so many of the digipack packaging is already damaged when it's on the shelf. It's such a shame because as collectors, we like the packaging to be in the best condition it can be. But just the way that these are packaged, unfortunately, they get damaged so easily. I'm sure many of you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's a complete side note. The Battle of Algiers, I cannot wait to finally visit this one in full. If you're enjoying this Criterion haul, please do subscribe to the channel because I do many videos about the Criterion Collection and you would hear about these videos as soon as they get uploaded. Anyway, let's get back to that haul. So I also got The American Friend. This is from Vim Vendors, and I've talked about Vim Vendors on the channel before. I talked about Paris, Texas. I think I've mentioned Wings of Desire and the Road trilogy. I don't think I've specifically ever talked about The American Friend, but this is a brilliant movie. It's Vim Vendors loosely adapting Patricia Highsmith. It's a noirish kind of story. Bruno Ganz, the late Bruno Ganz, is brilliant. Dennis Hopper as well is in this movie, and some absolutely stunning cinematography from Robbie Mueller. So all around, I love this film and I'm so glad to have the Criterion edition finally. Next up is another blind buy. It's Insomnia, not to be confused with Insomnia made by Christopher Nolan. This version stars Stellan Skarsgård, and I'm very excited to delve into this one, excited to delve into the special features and the short films that are in the special features as well. So yes, I'm very excited for this piece of Scandinavian cinema. I also picked up Ghost World. Now, I have not seen Ghost World for a number of years. It must be 5 or 6 years. I actually first saw this on Netflix, so I've never seen it on Blu-ray. I haven't seen it in the cinema. So it's great to have it in the Criterion Collection. I honestly can't remember too much about this except for it being an early Scarlett Johansson performance, and I remember Steve Buscemi being really good in it and him referencing Federico Fellini's 8.5. So that's all I can remember. So I'm hopefully going to watch this over the Christmas period. I've got another one that I've not seen, shamefully. This is The Bridge. And all I know about this is it's a great story about wartime Germany, and it's been very influential on modern German filmmakers. So beyond that, I don't know much about this. This is one that within the Criterion Collection doesn't get talked about all too much. So I'm excited to finally check it out because I have had my eye on it, but I don't know much about it. So if you've seen The Bridge, let me know what you think in the comments below. And the last of the movies that I got from Mario over on Facebook is Phoenix. Now, Phoenix is one of the best movies that I have seen from the last 10 years or so. It is such a tight thriller, a brilliant story about this Auschwitz survivor who was essentially ratted out to the Nazis by someone as being Jewish. And she survives, but she's had to have facial reconstruction surgery. She basically comes back to society. No one really recognizes her, but she wants to find out who ratted her out to the Nazis. And it's such a brilliant story with a powerful ending that is seared into my memory. So if you've not checked out Phoenix, again, this is one that not a lot of people talk about with regards to Criterion. So I thoroughly recommend this, and I can't wait to revisit the movie on the Criterion disc. I'm not done yet. I've got 2 more for you. These were bought on eBay. These are brand new Region A Criterions that I bought from a seller here in the UK, which is always handy because it means you don't have to get around customs tax and stuff like that. I've got Tom Jones. This is the Tony Richardson movie starring Albert Finney. Famously won Best Picture at the Oscars the year it came out, and since then it has been slated as one of the worst Best Picture winners of all time, which I totally disagree with. I think Tony Richardson is such an important filmmaker within the British New Wave, and I think his movies in particular are so important to British filmmakers working today. If you're someone that doesn't know too much about British New Wave cinema, or you want to get more into it, there is a brilliant box set from the BFI. It's called Woodfall, A Revolution in Cinema, I think. And it features a bunch of movies that were put out by the Woodfall studio, including movies by Tony Richardson. Tom Jones is in that box set as well, so if you don't want to dish out for the Criterion, you can get that one. You can pick the setup regularly for about £25, £30, and you get about 8 movies in it. So I know I'm not talking about the Criterion here, but that Woodfall set is such tremendous value. Anyway, Tom Jones. Why do I love this movie? Well, it's a historical period picture, unlike any other really, certainly at the time. It took this classical source material and turned it into something that was very modern and kind of avant-garde at the time. It went against the total grain of how to do a period piece picture, and it's very witty. There's some absolutely brilliant set pieces. There's one that is a hunting trip with a load of horse riding. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I must say, I have such a soft spot in my heart for Albert Finney, because he's a local lad, obviously a brilliant actor. And there's so many films of his that I love, including his directorial feature debut and the only film he made, Charlie Bubbles. So I love Albert Finney, and I love Tony Richardson and Tom Jones. And the last movie in this Criterion Hall is A Touch of Zen. This is from King Hu. I'm obsessed with the movies of King Hu. I love A Touch of Zen. I bought this. It was a bit of an impulse buy because I do already own this movie on Blu-ray. I have it on the Eureka Masters of Cinema Blu-ray, and I love that release. It's an amazing release. Did I need to buy this one? Probably not. I don't actually know if there's much overlap in the special features, but it does say on the back of the Criterion release that a lot of these are new interviews. So whether they feature on the Eureka disc, I don't actually know. I've not compared them. I'm excited to revisit this. What an epic movie, and kind of set the tone for a lot of wuxia martial arts films that came after. And the cinematography in particular is stunning. Like, even if you just go and watch the trailer for A Touch of Zen, the cinematography stands out. There's a particular fight sequence in a bamboo forest, which is iconic and I will never forget. So A Touch of Zen, genuinely one of my favourite movies, so I'm okay owning it twice. There you go. That's my spontaneous Criterion haul. I hope you enjoyed just seeing a glimpse of what I've bought recently, and I talked a bit about the movies that I've seen, and then I talked a bit less about the movies I've never seen, but I'm very excited to watch those that are blind buys. So if you have any thoughts on these movies, whether you've seen them or whether you just want to check them out, please do let me know in the comments below. And if you've stayed to the end of this video, well done. I would appreciate it so much if you would subscribe to the channel, because you'd hear about these videos as soon as they get uploaded, and I plan to do a lot more Criterion videos in the very near future. If you want to stick around on the channel, I will link some other Criterion videos that I've made on screen now, so do go and click those if they interest you, and I'm sure you can get some other good recommendations from them. Anyway, I'll be back very soon, so until then, stay well and keep watching great movies.